last couple of weeks, No Man's Sky has been a big topic. Myself and Vodka Knockers have really been covering it the most. But basically, there's been like this giant uproar between the people that pre-ordered and bought No Man's Sky about whether or not this game is going to be like anything that they ever imagined that it would be. A lot of people have been asking for their money back on this game because they're just like, wow, this isn't anything that I thought it would be. Now, if we go back to one of the previous ones when I was first talking about it before it was released, sorry. The game itself was described to be more of like a Minecraft version of a space exploration game. So it was kind of supposed to be like you find like all these resources and stuff and kind of build your own kind of game. It wasn't actually handed to you already by the developers. You created what you wanted out of this game. So I kind of just did some looking around online and like some different polls and stuff. The general consensus is that, so between the two, like, is No Man's Sky, was it doomed before the start? Or, you know, are people excited to see what this is going to, what's going to become of it? 70% of the people who purchased it or are intending to purchase it are really excited to see what No Man's Sky is going to become, and they're actually not interested in giving their money back because they want to see all of the patches and things like that. They're talking about adding an multiplayer experience, also base building and freighter ships that you can fly rather than just fighting on them. There's also a whole list of No Man's Sky patches that are that have already been released, the PS4 versions and the PC versions. I'm not going to read all of them because there were a ton. Most of them are basically, though, just like glitches that were experienced. So like you were getting stuck in the terrain on some of the planets. Stuff like that. You're having some difficulties after warping. It wouldn't save until you died, things like that. If you want to see those, you just go to the No Man's Sky website under logs, and they're all located there. But I thought that was really interesting that, like, on this show, that there's a lot of negativity about it, but actually a majority of the populace is still really excited to see what it's going to be.
That's actually shocking.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised too. I mean, like right now it's really boring, but you know.
Right now it's a little boring, but it's going to get better. Yeah, I agree. I can't wait for this to come out.
I think Minecraft. Minecraft's really boring when you first play it until you actually get into it.
And it's definitely when you're playing it with friends, it definitely adds a lot to it because then it's just a whole bunch of craziness ensues. So I can't wait to see what this does. I'm still gonna check this game out as soon as I get my PS4 Pro. This is going to make a lot of people happy. This is going to make a lot of people who bought the game and then immediately put it down, make them go, let me check this out. And then maybe this will give them a new appreciation for it. I don't know. We have somebody in the chat right now watching the show that's a little not happy with how the game turned out, but maybe it'll turn them over. We'll see.
That's all I had.
But yeah, I think this is a great idea.
I mean, yeah, I can see where they'd want to, I can see where this would be really good to have this done, and, sorry, give me a sec, guys, trying to think. I mean, part of me wonders, are these updates just so they can, you know, cover their ass so that way they don't have, like, a lot of people, I guess the better way to put it is suing them for releasing a game that it wasn't.
Well, they were supposed to be patching it all the time, weren't they, Michelle?
I feel like this is not to cover their ass. The reason that I say that is so if you guys remember what happened when they actually pushed the release back to August, they were receiving death threats to all of the developers over this game. They actually tried to push it back so that they could release it with, you know, better stuff, but like all these people were just raising all kinds of hell because they wanted this game that bad. And I mean, all these gaming sites reported on all these death threats that they received, and people were actually like in a huge uproar. But the idea behind it was that as they went through and, as I was talking about before, they even have drones out there to figure out what in this entire universe that they've built is actually out there. I think as they discover more and the players start discovering more, they'll know what kind of patches are needed and what kind of things that need to be put out there. I know that we talked before that, they want to add, like, it would be a good idea if they added in like a fast travel to where you could just travel between things and not actually have to do it in real time. So I think it's actually something that's just going to be happening now. As far as the patches or the releases that they've done recently, those I think could have probably been fixed before the game was released. Obviously, you don't want your players getting stuck in the terrain, stuff like that. Not being able to save their games. I know a lot of the problems that Vodka Knockers was having with his game were fixed with the PC update that was done. So it'll be really nice when he comes back to hear whether his experience had changed or not. But looking through the list, like I said, there's like this entire log of it. It seems like a majority of the problems that he was having with his setup were fixed for that game. But I think that, it's one of those things that is just going to have to be progressively updated to include new things. Like, obviously, yes, we want a better multiplayer experience, but on something this vast, they're going to have to set up a specific area that's only for multiplayer, kind of with the same idea of, like, I know this is stupid to say, but like Call of Duty, where you have the option to go to multiplayer or you have the option to play alone. They're going to have to set up something like that, because if you try to play multiplayer in this game right now, with the number of players and how big it is, you're not going to find anybody. I mean, that just is what it is.